All right, we're going to look at doing a quick takeoff. Essentially, you're taking the plans, you're going to count windows, count doors. You're just counting and writing down all your square footages. So we're going to do it real quick using a plan that I downloaded from Public Works project. Share your screen. And we are going to use this one. All right, here you're looking at a plan, electronic plan. I'm using Bluebeam on this one, but you can use whatever. You can even do this on paper. Okay, so there's windows here. So everywhere you see an A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 6 windows there. Right, so you just write that down in your on your spreadsheet or whatever. If you're using Bluebeam, you can count them. So you can grab this and you go, there you go, and you're going to call this Windows and label it A. Enter. Okay, so now hit escape to get off the check. We got some doors, so let's change this to door count, and we're going to use, where's our, I don't want to use that. Where's our counter? Oh, there it is, right there. All right, I'm going to use this for single doors. Okay, go up here, type in single doors. Hit enter. All right, I'm going to use this for, actually, I want to change that out. And we're going to go down to diamonds for double. There's a double there. There's a double there. Looks like I've missed a single, but first let me write this up. So double door, hit enter, and hit escape. Now, I missed this door right here. So I'm going to click on the single doors, right mouse it, and resume count. I'm going to add one. And I'm going to escape. That takes care of that. All right, so I've added up all my doors and windows. Oops, I missed one right there. Let's do the same thing. Resume count, hit, and escape. Oh, I missed that one too. Geez, I suck. Click it, escape. All right, so that gets your counts. That's how I do it there. I missed that one too, but you get the idea. All right, square footage wise now. So these are drains, okay, and they're in each of the bays. So we have 3 drains that we got to buy. They're what, $200 a piece or whatever, and it costs. They get some rebar requirements and all sorts of other stuff. But you're writing all that down, and in this particular case, with this software, I'm using. This is how much that slab's going to be. So that slab's 1,450 square feet. Okay. You got 3 bays of it, 4 bays essentially. They're going to be about the same, so you can use that as a baseline. Remember, you're just doing an estimate. You got to count your ceiling tiles, and that's how you do takeoffs. You just sort of go through this whole process. So let's say you're just doing this by hand. So your bay is going to be 60 foot by 25 foot. Okay. So in doing the math, 60 foot by 25 foot is almost 1,400. Let's see here. I know I should do this in my head, but I don't want to give you the wrong answer. So 60 by 25, 1,500. Yeah. So there you go. And the reason why it's not coming out when you drag it over like that is because I'm not quite on the line. No, it should be closer. Yeah, it's close. You can fiddle fart with it if you want. So the best thing to do, I like to do it by dead reckoning instead of scaling it like this. But if you're doing a fast bid and you're going to add some contingency to it, you can do it like this. You're going to get 1463 instead of 1,500. But just be aware that that's something to acknowledge. So essentially, you're doing takeoffs. You're figuring out how much insulation you got. You do that by number of walls that are wall type I1B, for example. How do I find I1B? I1B, right there it is. See, I1B. I1B has drywall, MRGB, moisture rated drywall. It has, what is this? This is plywood, PS plywood. So these numbers right here are your specification numbers. So if it's a 06, it's wood. 09, it's finish. So it'd be gypsum or it could even be metal framing. But 06 is division 6 of the CSI master format numbers. But that's so if we had the book with us, the specification book, we could go and look at what kind of plywood this is. So that's easy to figure out. And then they got some keynotes here, tells you what type of studs, how 6-inch studs at 16 inches on center, etc. That's all sorts of stuff. But that's what takeoffs do, right? And you just count everything up, you add it up, you figure out your materials, what it costs per, like 2x4, what's that? $4? No, not even that. It's like $2.90 a board. So if you got 1,000 2x4s, you just move the decimal place 2 places, 2 or 3 places to get her done. So there's not a whole lot to doing material takeoffs. Production rates are a little different. You have to spend some time with that, like I discussed in the other video. That's a database thing. So you have to figure out what your crew can do. You don't know it off the top of your head, you're guessing. So you're brand new, you're going to go and say, I think I can do a deck this size one day. Okay. As long as it's ground level, I'm pretty sure I can finish a deck in 2 days that is 100 square feet. All right. Then you go out and you test it. You prove whether or not you can do it or not, and you make sure you're tracking your time, and that determines your production rate. So until then, you're guessing. And in a lot of cases, when you're looking at complex jobs or jobs that you've never done before, you're guessing. So in those cases, you may not be competitive because other people are no longer guessing. They're using their data and have determined their production rates. So that should answer that question. All right, I'm going to stop share and we'll go right back to sharing this one. So we covered modeling estimates, workflow and obstacles, how to figure that out on your job walks, material takeoffs, we just talked about that there. Production rates, talked about that. Contingency and complexity adjustments. We did talk about that a little bit, but we did it on the workflow and obstacles, taking a look at that, the complexity of the project, Should we add some more because there's going to be things that get in the way, or we don't have access to certain things, or maybe there's no squares. Everything is serpentine and flowing. And if that's the case, it's much more difficult to get the radiuses right than it is to get a square. That's why people build square houses and not radius houses, um, unless you have the money to do a radius now. So, and then your contingency is, well, how confident are you in your bid? Have you done the project before? And if the answer is no, then you might want to add some contingency in case your guys don't hit your expected uh, production rates. All right. If you've done it 1,000 times and you know your crew's hitting the numbers right on the, hitting the production rates all the time, and you know how much lumber is, and you get it locked in, so there's no escalation in pricing, your contingency may be near zero. So, but if it's raining, weather might be a factor. So there's all sorts of things that you put in there. Essentially, it's a catch-all for some extra cash. If you do it well, the contingency becomes your profit, or it can become a discount to the owner of the project. There's things to think about. All right, that should cover it.